All right, let's jump right in. We're about to explore a topic that honestly sounds like it was ripped straight out of a science fiction movie. But here's the thing, it's happening right now. It's called personal tokenization, and it forces us to ask some seriously radical questions about our own future. Just let that sink in for a second. Imagine waking up and realizing that you yourself, are a tradable asset. Not your company, not your art, not something you own, but you, your potential, your time, your future, all packaged up and traded on a market. It's a wild thought, right? But it's the core idea we're unpacking. So, what does it actually mean to be a tradable asset? Let's break down this fascinating and, yeah, maybe a little unsettling concept. At its heart, personal tokenization is when a person creates digital tokens. You can think of them like stocks, but for a human being. So when someone buys one of these tokens, they're essentially buying a small share of that person's future journey. You know, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like crowdfunding. We all get Kickstarter, right? You back a project you believe in. Well, this is just applying that exact same logic to a person's potential. But, and this is a really big but, there's a crucial difference we're about to get into. So, we've got the what. Now let's get into the how. How does this go from being just an idea to something real? How does someone actually tokenize themselves? Well, it's actually a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, an individual issues their own tokens. Second, their community, their supporters, fans, investors, buys those tokens. And third, the token holders get something back in return. And that something could be anything really, from one-on-one mentorship calls to a percentage of future income, or even, and this is where it gets wild, the right to vote on their next career move. And here is that crucial difference I mentioned. This creates a liquid secondary market. That's just a fancy way of saying people can buy and sell you. See, unlike a donation, these tokens can be traded between people, just like stocks. So your personal stock price can actually go up or down based on how the world perceives your success. But this isn't all just about cold, hard financial mechanics. When you look at the early examples, this whole thing becomes way less about speculation and a lot more about something deeply human, believing in someone else's potential. And we're not just talking about tech billionaires here. These are incredible everyday examples. Think about a student in Nigeria who might never have gotten a traditional loan, suddenly being able to fund her entire education. Or a skateboarder in Brazil without big corporate sponsors who can now finance his dream of competing on the world stage. This is direct, community-powered funding in its purest form. And here's the most important part. Who was doing the buying? In these early cases, it wasn't a bunch of Wall Street traders. It was the people who already knew them and supported them. It was about a collective belief in someone, giving them a chance they might never have had otherwise. But you knew there was a but coming, right? Like with any powerful new idea, there's always another side to the story. There's a potential cost to putting yourself on the market, a price for making yourself this public. And this really gets us to the core conflict of this whole idea. It's a two-sided coin. On one side, you've got this incredible promise of empowerment. You can cut out the banks, the gatekeepers, and raise money directly from the people who believe in you. But on the other side, there's the peril of losing control. What happens when your investors start wanting a return? That pressure to perform could become absolutely immense, and it could threaten your own personal freedom. And this is where things get really, really complicated. I mean, can you imagine having to justify a major career change to a committee of token holders? Or what if they all vote that you should move to a different city because it would be better for your brand? The line between support and control gets very blurry very fast. So all of this leads us to a fundamental question about one of our oldest concepts, ownership. What does it even mean to own something when that something is a piece of another human being's future? You could boil this entire debate down to one incredibly powerful question. Is this technology liberation, or is it a new kind of digital indentured servitude? Is it a way to free people from the old gatekeepers, or does it just chain them to the whims of their new ones? And that's really the question this leaves us with. What does ownership actually mean in the 21st century? And more to the point, how much of ourselves are we really willing to put on chain? There's no easy answer, but it's something we're all going to be thinking about a lot more as we move forward.